Okay, y'all. What we getting ready to do, we're gonna start it. First of all, I want to welcome the author, D Revolution. He's the man behind the plans, y'all. He is y'all read the book. Y'all know how great this book is. He has did a amazing, fabulous, y'all know my word is fabulous job. I was reading this book and I was blown away by some of the things. And then it was just tripping me out because then I talked to Valerie. Look, me and her already don't have book discussion because she was like, Deb, I got so many questions. So I want to introduce everybody to him. I want to thank him for coming on. And I want to thank you, brother, for being a positive and a great storyteller. And I want to cheers to him, everybody. Thank him for coming on. Cheers. Everybody got to throw your glass up. Cheers. Janice, you wasn't here for the cheers, baby. I'm sorry, but I want to cheers and thank you for coming on, brother.
Thank you for having me here. I can't see anybody though. I can only see you. Am I supposed to see?
You supposed to be able to see everybody. Can everybody else see?
You should be able to see me now because I turned my video on. I just now turned my video on. Can you see me?
Okay. Yeah, I can see you now. So I'm only going to see one person at a time?
No, you're supposed to be able. What's the button he's supposed to hit where he can see everybody, y'all? Look, I'm not good with this myself.
I only see one person at a time.
You do too, Bella?
Yeah, just one
see,
person.
My screen, I can see all of y'all, and you're supposed to be able to touch something and be able to see everybody. Trinice, need your help, baby.
I just see you, Debbie.
Okay, I'm finna tell Trinice to tell y'all how to do it because she showed me how to do it a long time ago where you can see everybody that's live.
It says pretend you punch more and wait a minute. No, that ain't.
So I don't want to tell y'all something and then mess it up for everybody. Cassandra, can you see everybody?
No.
Okay.
The only time I can see anybody is when they start talking.
Right. That's what's happening with me.
Okay, now then, can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we can't see you, but we can hear you. Teresa, how can everybody see everyone?
It didn't kick me out now. Hold on.
Because they said they only seeing one person at a time.
So what y'all doing is y'all are seeing the speaker right now, but y'all can go over to the top right hand corner of your screen.
Can y'all hear Trinice?
Yeah.
They can hear you. I'm right here.
Okay.
But yeah, go to the top right hand corner of your screen where it says view and it's a waffle icon. Tap that and hit gallery.
What's the name of it?
Where it say, oh, okay.
It's a waffle icon.
All right.
It says view.
Okay, so is only
I have her set to gallery
see
so that
Evella and Valerie. Is that the only two people on?
No.
Sand is here.
Sand is here and Linda is on here.
Change your
video I only see so that... Okay, hold on. Okay, now I see Cassandra. But maybe it's the way, I don't know. It's not letting me see all. I see it's only showing Bella and Valerie, and then I have to kind of go over to see Cassandra. It's like my screen won't fit everybody and Linda. It won't fit. Linda is her camera on?
I don't think she have her picture on.
Okay. She don't have a camera.
She got her cell phone.
Who has it on?
She's on, but she don't have a camera.
Linda.
No, she don't want to be on video.
Okay, she just got her sounds on, y'all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, y'all. Is that better for everybody? Got it? So we can get started?
Right.
Okay. Y'all, so I want to thank everybody for coming to my first Zoom book club meeting. I'm happy. I'm excited about it because I hope y'all like the background. I hope everybody like the background. And can y'all hear the music?
No.
No, I can't hear the music.
Well, everybody sounds low to me.
The background is nice.
Okay, well, thank you. Well, everybody, I want everybody to welcome D Revolution. This is the man with the plan that created this amazing, fabulous book that we are reading. We love you, brother. You did an amazing job. So we already did a cheers, but since everybody's on, we're going to cheers one more time to this brother because, you know, you did a fabulous job. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And he have more books, y'all, so don't discount it out. So cheers, brother.
Appreciate it. Other books y'all need to read.
See, he got another. Show that book one more time. And then he got a new book coming out. You can tell them about that right quick.
I got a new book that should be out maybe in about 8 months. It's called The Nurse and the Poet. It's very political. It's about a woman who's in an abusive relationship that really finds herself through reading somebody else's poetry on how to deal with her situation at home. It's called The Nurse and the Poet.
Okay. So I'm gonna ask everybody. We're gonna go around the room. Evella, you the first one in my screen. So I'm gonna ask you, how did you like the book?
I loved it. I read it in one day.
She loved it. Okay. Well, for me, I'm next on my screen. You know how I feel about it. Brother, I already told you how I feel about you. You are amazing. And you know my word is fabulous. You did an amazing job. I appreciate you as a Black man out here making this thing happen. You know, I'm always going to show love and support to you. So I appreciate you. Hey, sitting here in our present, the author sitting here of the book, sitting here with us
Appreciate
while
it.
we eat our food and drink our drinks as if we was in a restaurant. I appreciate you, brother. So you did an amazing job, and hats off to you. I'm not taking off this hat, but hats off to you anyway. So Barry, you next.
Huh?
You next. How did you like the book?
I loved it. It's he had me to thinking about how you think and your thinking process. It's like a thinking process. Like, you know, he was like, went back in time and came back, and he was like, his thoughts and stuff like, okay, you know, what decision am I gonna make? Am I gonna be here or there? And it was just good interest.
Cassandra, you
Choices
next.
and consequences.
Okay,
Choices
good.
and consequences.
Exactly.
Is how somebody described it.
Mhm.
Mhm. Choices and consequences. The choices you make versus the consequences that you have to deal with the choices that you make. That's how somebody else described it.
Yes, Lord.
Oh,
yeah.
Cassandra, how did you?
Well, what I liked about it is the sharing in totality, because people do get broken, mistakes do occur, loved ones are lost, you know, and it's, again, like you said, choices and consequences. But so many of us go through whatever we go through and we never share it with anyone else. And it's always someone else out there that you could help along. So that's the most profound it was for me.
And of course, we got to hear from Trinice. How did you feel about it?
Yeah, man, you know, I fanned out over the book when I first read it. So I had to have him on the show because we had to have that one-on-one conversation about, you know, introspective thinking. You know, this book really challenges somebody to go beyond just the blame game and look at your part, your actions. What are some things about your characteristics or personality that you can alter a little bit that may get you to where you really want to go? And so my favorite part of the book, though, and he knows this, is like the spiritual path of things, you know, because I'm in my transition stage of spirituality. And so looking at what his thought process of afterlife is was kind of cool, because we don't get it oftentimes described that way. And so I like asked him about that, and I hope he touches on that tonight in the meeting, like where he got that inspiration from, because we don't see that on TV. We don't even get that perspective or description of the afterlife. So I'm all ears tonight.
Okay, another thing, Linda, do you want to speak on it? How did you, Linda, are you there?
Yes, it was a great book, and can't wait to read this next book that's coming out.
Okay. So do you want to have anything to say about the book to introduce us before we get into discussion?
No.
No, derail. Do you want to say anything about the book before we get into discussion?
Oh no, I enjoyed writing it. The book was really fun to write. The spiritual aspect of the book came to me in a dream many years ago, and it sat on me for many years, and I finally got a chance to write it. Everything before leading up to that spiritual afterlife world was a story I had to make up to get to the spiritual world. But the dream I had was only about that spiritual world. So I had to create a story around that spiritual world and connect the two together.
Okay.
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 And it was just fun. I mean, it turned out much better than I thought it would turn out. You know, it just worked out.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm gonna say one thing that I have to say. In chapter 5, I'm skipping some chapters, y'all. I love the way you plugged your book in there. I just must say that this tripped me out. Say he plugged his book in there. That's advertising right there. I love that. He plugged
Oh
it.
yeah, you'll probably see that in every book. I'm always gonna throw a little something out there, you know, market, you know, my stuff, and you know, because in my mind I'm already on the next level, so I'm gonna
That's
put my
right.
stuff in there as you read that. You know, you may go back and get the other book, you know, but I'm not gonna overdo it. It's just gonna be just like a selfish promotion, you know, and you know. And I did, and that's the beautiful thing about being a writer. You can kind of put in what you want to put in and shape it up how you want to shape it up and promote yourself and things like that. So
Okay.
you're not the first one to mention that. It's funny how everybody remember that.
Look, it's funny because I mentioned it to Trinice. I said, Trinice, he plugged himself, girl. He really did an amazing job. Trinice said, I called him up when I first read it, and I was laughing, talking about, you really plugged yourself in this book. So she said, I was already told him that. So,
Yeah.
okay. The next way I want to do this, I want everybody to tell me something about the book that you really like, or special part, something that stood out, to you. Tell me something about Evella. We're going to start with you. You on the first run.
Well, the thing that stood out to me the most is the spiritual part of the book.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, wow. And, you know, like you said, choices and consequences. Those are so real and things that we use in everyday life that we have to, you know, decisions that we have to make. And it was just a powerful book. You know, I laughed, I cried, you know, I was angry at living, and, you know, it was just all kind of, it just have you emotional in different ways.
Okay, for me, it was this like the struggle that he had. And it seemed like to me, so many times you have to watch your surroundings, meaning that every time something started to go bad, who was around every time something went bad with him? Every time something went bad with him, this boy showed up in the picture. He was either at the ball park playing ball. He was always doing something, but he was always a part of his thought process. It's like he couldn't get something good going because something bad always surrounded, and his past always came up to bite him in a sense because of what he went through. And so that for me stood out in this book. Valerie, you're next.
Okay. I got out of it decisions. It was like decisions, good or bad. It's up to us, which is wiser. And it's like, what is our purpose? Do we know? Do we have a purpose? Do we want a purpose or a destination? It's up to us to decide. And it's like he had to get his mind right. He had children and lost someone. That's a big life decision. And the dream he had a dream of sorts, no doubt assigned to let him see what is, I'll say, aware or called to not lead him on the wrong path. And this place he went to teaches him what to do when he returned to the world again. Like that dream he had. It's like he went through like a phase, and it's like I was saying, a wake-up call, and it was telling him, make this choice and it'll lead to this, or you make a wise choice and it'll lead to good outcome. So it's like Stacy says, the cause and effect theory. Cause and effect is how you ended up here. What is important in the world is not here. It's this place, this life.
That's right.
That's what I got out of it.
Okay, Cassandra, I'm gonna ask you next, but are you okay, sis? I can't hear you. Mute.
I said, I'm okay.
Okay, I just want to make sure because I'm looking at your face and I know what you've been through today. So,
you know what? Can I come off, have my face off? I'm gonna
go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Go
yeah.
ahead.
Yeah, thanks.
So what did you take from the book if you want to speak on it?
Well, I mean, what I, had said before, uh, it's a journey, and it's a constant journey, and it's a constant battle, and you can't give up, and you need the spirituality. Um, and for me, I also like hearing it and seeing it through a man's eye.
Yes, Lord. I wanted to say that. I just wanted to, if anybody else gonna pick up on it.
Yeah.
Well, basically,
But we got to give Trinice.
oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Let's let Trinice. Trinice, you got something you want to say?
What's that? You said, do I have something I want to say?
Yeah, just your thought process of the overall book. What stood out to you?
Well, for me, it was the attention to detail. He really smooth with his transition from one place to the next, and making sure that he connects to things. Like sometimes, you read books and it drops off in certain parts or makes things less believable. But he really, interconnected all of these grand ideas, but did it in a casual way where even if we weren't people who could, even think deeply, we could still find ourselves in this book through the characters and some of the experiences. So that's the main thing that stuck out to me and what I most appreciated about it.
Okay. Linda, do you have anything you wanted to say?
I was just hoping he would make the right choices, and I was praying that he wouldn't have left her when they went to the abortion place, and he just stayed. I don't understand why he didn't go back there with her to hold her hand. So,
well, I don't think in a place like that they let you go back there, but I wish that he wouldn't have never made the decision. But we all know that there was a money thing for him, the reason he made the decision for her to have that abortion. And I wish he would have never made a decision. And that's what his friend had spoke to him about, and also his father. So I wish that was a decision that he didn't never make. And to be honest, money shouldn't be the reason that you make a decision like that at a time like that, when you have love. And I believe in the power of God, and that's where the spirituality part come in. My mama has 10 kids, so if she can make it through like that, I feel like sometimes you can just make it through. But so I feel like money played a part of that part, Linda. But I'm gonna let the author speak on it.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, is that the book was written because on the human experience, we make a lot of decisions out of fear of what we think is going to happen. And that's what he was doing. He was making a lot of decisions based on what he thought was going to happen. It turned out to be the wrong decision. And then he found out later some of the decisions he made, like leaving his job, he didn't have to do that. But he was doing those things out of fear and making those choices. And out of making those choices out of fear,
You better mute your mic, baby.
Out of fear, he lost his girlfriend and things like that without even checking to try to stay on the right path. He went back to what was easiest for him, and everything that happened out, everything just went downhill from there.
And you had a comment, actually what Cassandra was getting ready to talk about was her enjoying and being written from the male perspective. You were going to go somewhere with that. I don't know where, but I just want to remind you of it.
Say that again?
Yeah, I said you looked like you had a comment about when Cassandra had said that she appreciated the book being written from the male perspective.
Oh, okay. Now I said what I was trying to say. That was it. But just to really expand on more from the male perspective, I am a male, and I've gone down a similar road, not directly as Niven did in the book, but I've been through a lot and I've seen a lot and I've made a lot of decisions in my life out of fear of what could happen, and just rushing things and having to deal with the consequences, of my actions and whatever. So, I think a lot of men do that, not just Black men. I just think a lot of men do that because men never want to look like they're not in control. That's why men have issues asking for directions. That's why you can't take a man to the doctor. He don't want to go to the doctor because a man always want to look like he's in control.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of just really just understanding he's not in control sometimes and make better decisions, but we make bad decisions because we want to look like we're in control all the time.
Okay. Do anybody have anything that you want to ask? Did anybody perform, get your questions? Valerie, I know you do. We're going to start with you this time because I know you have questions.
Huh?
I know you had questions that you wanted to ask that you wrote down. So I'm going to let you start off asking a couple questions.
Yeah, I'll ask a question. When he had, I don't know whether it was a dream or what, when he dreamed about Stacy and she had a child. And it's like, it was like she was alive and she leading this little child and they like together. And
That was actually when he went into the spiritual world. She had the child. I'm sorry, something popped up on my screen. She actually had the child that they were supposed to have that she had aborted. She had the child with her in that spiritual world. That wasn't a dream. That was actually when he entered that world and she met up with him, and her child and their child was with her that they had aborted.
I figured that's what it was.
So anybody else have any questions? Eval, you have a question for him? Cassandra, you have a question?
No.
Okay,
No,
Trinice. Well, Trinice, we know you got a lot of questions. Linda, you have any questions?
I do want you to kind of speak about the significance of the dove. Why did you choose a dove for that symbolism? And what was your intent with connecting it in the Black Souls portion of the book?
Well, the doves represented just the souls. Basically, I had to give the reader a visual of the people who went to that particular world and didn't make the right decision when they went back to the world. And so the dove represented that, when they did when the doves kind of flew over, and they kind of cheered them on, the dove was just a significance of the souls. Just to give the reader a visual, instead of having zombies around, I use doves as more of a, doves has always been kind of a spiritual thing. And I wanted to bring doves in to represent the lost souls and the people who had been to that spiritual world, but went back to the regular world and made the bad decisions initially, and and didn't do the right thing. So the doves was kind of a significance of still being celebrated, but they didn't go back and do the right thing. The people that had been to that world before he had been there. So the dove was just a significance, and the dove, from what I read, doves are like a spiritual gateway to the afterlife. So that's like that. You can look that up. They're kind of like sometimes people release doves at funerals and things like that. So the doves kind of represent, a gateway into the spiritual world.
And
Can
they
I ask
also
another question?
go ahead, Val.
Sure. Yeah.
Go ahead, Val.
The situation he had with Miss Davis, that lady that kept sending wouldn't pay him hardly no money. And what was the situation with that when she kept beating him out of money to stay at that place he was staying at?
That halfway
what
house.
was she?
Miss Davis was just on drugs. She was just a person that did drugs, and she just found a way to kind of get him out of money so she can do more drugs. That was all Miss Davis was about, trying to get money so she can get drugs, to continue to do drugs. And that's it. Just another issue in his life. But also, Miss Davis' character was put there to really kind of show how his decisions put him in a situation where he had to deal with stuff like that, because he was making choices to put him in that situation. And so because of the choices he made, he had to deal with Miss Davis. He had to deal with other things, other people. He had to constantly go through other people to try to get his stuff together because he had made the wrong decision, a lot of bad decisions, and he had to keep telling himself, "I got to stop making these decisions because obviously I have to answer to other people, you know." And so Miss Davis was just another person that stood in his way of trying to get himself together.
Let me tell you how good of a storyteller you are. Because when I was reading that first, before I got to the part, I just assumed that Miss Daisy was Miss Davis was more of a person that was trying to get sex out of him. So I thought that's where you was heading, but then it flipped all the way around to another part. I was like, okay, now she finna try, she knew he'd been in prison, now she finna try to solicit him for sex. So that's where I thought you was going. And then I kept on reading. I was like, okay, that wasn't what it, I was just totally wrong with that. That's how good of a storyteller you are.
Starting to go there. I was starting to go there, but it was kind of, but then I was like, well, you know, that's kind of cliche. So, you know, initially I kind of flirted around with that idea, but, you know, I was like, okay, that's predictable. I was just like, so I went a different route with that.
So who else thought that she was getting ready to try to solicit him for sex? Miss Davis. Is that where you thought it was going? I did too. I thought it was going. Anybody else thought that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it a little bit, and then like you said, as it progressed, you kind of saw the shift. But
Yes.
Yeah, I thought that too for a minute.
I just
it
couldn't
made me
believe.
wonder though about, like, I mean, on a larger scale, criminal justice reform, and like how it's hard for convicted felons when they get out and they're limited to these halfway houses and stuff. Like, how many people could read this book and potentially relate to these experiences? You know, because we just don't know their lifestyle, but this may be what they're actually doing, or to some extent, you know.
Yeah, people will take advantage of you when you're in a situation where you at a disadvantage. People will take advantage of you. It's just how people are. And somebody else actually said the same thing you said, Trinice. Like, you don't think about somebody like Miss Davis who don't really care that this person's in the halfway house. All she cares about is her drug habit, and she'll violate him. She don't care about, she violated him and tried to send him back to jail and all of that stuff. And really all she cared about was herself.
So I was wondering one thing about Miss Davis, that at the end, because I know he turned her in.
Yeah.
And I was happy about that.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know, she need prison herself.
Yeah. I didn't, yeah. You know, luckily his father told him to start writing down everything that she's doing.
Yes.
Keep a little journal of everything, and because he may need it, and he did need it. So, you know, turned out that they was kind of investigating her anyway.
Yeah.
This is it's a good plot right there, because you twisted that up, because I didn't see that coming. I just knew it was going one way, and then when I found out about the drugs and she was sending him on that corner to that guy, I'm like, okay, she a junkie.
Yeah, and what better way than to use ex-convict to do that stuff with, you know, because he really couldn't do anything about it, and she knew that.
And he couldn't tell her no. He could not tell her no.
He couldn't.
Because she had the keys.
That was just a situation. That was just a situation that he put himself in initially with his decision. So, yeah, you know, that you know, I put myself in many difficult situations. Not quite like that, but just in position where you give people the power to do you wrong.
Yes.
And that's basically what he did. So
do anybody here have a situation that they can relate to any of this that took place in this book? Like, even when it comes to your thought process or a decision you could have made better, that it made you think after he wrote this book and after you reading it, it made you think, hey, I could have did this better, or, you know, gave you a respect on something you could have did better.
I'm sorry, guys. Hold on just a second, please.
So did anybody have one of those moments, y'all? Cause I know I have had situations where I could have thought about the way maybe I said. I ain't never been on jail and done nothing like that. Y'all know this, but just maybe sometime, maybe the way you say things, you know what I'm saying? Or, you speak to, with me, I could have said something, y'all, everybody here know me. So I got to thinking about, maybe sometime the way I say things, I maybe could have said it. That's the way I start to think about it. So I don't know.
Now, for me, it's just, evaluating that there's always other choices available to you. It's not always just the choices that you make available to yourself, because you saw that character battle with that a lot. Even though he weighed his decisions heavily sometimes. I mean, a lot of times it was impulsive, but there were times where you could see him thinking. But it's like in life, it's going to always be more decisions available to you, more choices. It's just the way you go about thinking when it comes to decision making. So it was just an eye opener to me, of like making sure you keep your mind open to even outside of your own perspective, because sometimes another type of choice or decision can present itself for you to like take advantage of.
Well, for me, it also brought me back to thinking about Baby Trinice, because I thought about a lot of choices that he could have made that he didn't make, and a lot of bad, because I had a brother that was in prison, and it made me think about, a lot of things he may have went through, because he entered prison at the age of 16. And he spent basically the rest of his life, he died in prison. My oldest brother, he died in prison, and some of y'all know that and others don't. As my mother's oldest child, and he made some poor decisions, but some of his decisions he made for family. He called himself helping, but once again, that's that thought process. If he would have did it this way, just thought about it, he could have came out probably on top, but he thought about it, him trying to help, and he did some wrong things to help. He could have made the process better for himself by not this the way he thought, his thought process once again. So it took me to my oldest brother, made me think about him, because the character that you created here can relate to my oldest brother about a lot of decisions that he made. So it made me think a lot. I cried when I thought about some of the stuff, and it just really made me just think a lot. Like I told you when I spoke to you earlier, your book make a person think. So
well, I write with a purpose. It's really a lot of thought that go into my stories and the things I write about. I don't write just to write. I really try to put some conscious, some knowledge in my stuff, and some information in there to make people think. Because I really feel like that I was put on this earth to write and try to reach people. For those of you who don't know, I was a poet for many, many years. And that's what I would do when I did poetry. When I would perform, I would try to put information out there to really teach people and make people think. And the same thing with my stories. It's I just didn't say, oh, this is fun to write. I really try to reach the human experience when I do write. Something that you could, anybody can relate to in their personal life, not just a situation where you're just looking at him, but somehow you're going to be able to relate to one of those characters in that story. So my question for you guys, like, do you guys have a favorite character and a favorite character in the book and a really worst character in the book? I think I know who the worst character you guys don't like, but do you have a really good character that you related to and that you liked in the book?
well, for me, I liked his friend. I think his friend was very positive.
Which one, Jeff?
Jeff was very positive. I love the way he spoke. I love the way he tried to make this brother think. He tried to make him think a different way, and he gave him different scenarios for him to think outside the box, and he never did. And like he would say, well, I'm trying to figure Jeff ain't my dad, so he wasn't catching it. And it took a moment later on in the book for him to actually process what this brother was trying to say to him. So Jeff was my favorite character in this book. And the kids, of course, y'all know I'm about the kids, so and his dad.
And those little girls in the book, those are the names of my real daughters in real life.
Oh wow, get out of here.
Yeah, Unica Rachel is the name of my daughters in real life.
Oh, they made it to the book. They are famous now.
Yeah,
Look at that.
and some of those things that Niven was doing with Unique and Rachel, I actually did with my daughters in real life. Now
Okay.
I put that in my book. Yeah.
Okay, so y'all, anybody else got any favorite characters? Because after y'all say y'all favorite characters, I want to, because our time is running out and I want to set an hour for the Zoom meeting. And I want to play a little game right quick with y'all. That's something I want to do. So anybody else got a favorite character they want to mention?
I like Stacy somewhat, and Niven. Them the two I like.
Okay. What about you, Evel? You got a favorite character?
I like Jeff and his mom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cassandra, what about you?
I won't say that there was one favorite, but he summed up what I was thinking, that the characters were very relatable. That's what I liked. It was very relatable, and the story seemed like something that could really happen. That's what I was saying. People experience these kind of things.
Mhm.
And when she died having the abortion, I mean, that was very thought provoking.
It really was. Linda, you got any favorite character in the book?
Stacy.
Stacy. Okay, Trinice, what about you?
My favorite, it's a tie between Jeff and his father. I think
That's
it
why I
showed the
said I love his
significance of
father.
like,
Mhm.
yeah, it showed the significance of like someone who's a positive influencer in your community, but also someone who reinforces that when you don't listen.
Okay, everybody. Do you have anything you want to say, Darrell?
Yeah, I was just gonna say my personal favorite character is the Sally. Zion was the cellmate in prison.
Oh
That
yeah.
was my favorite character, was Zion, because I feel like Zion, though he wasn't in the book very long, his character was very powerful.
Yes.
And it was something about his character that really, to me, that was very powerful. I like Zion character the most. And actually Zion in the book that was his cellmate is gonna have his own book come out in a couple of years. I'm gonna do a book on Zion, but that was,
Wow.
yeah, he got his own story coming out. So yeah, that was my favorite character.
Okay.
And the worst character was probably Rusty.
Yes.
And I'm gonna tell you why. Because I had a real enemy named Russell in real life, when I was in high school. So,
You never make a writer mad, you end up in the book.
yeah, he was my true nemesis. Russell was my true nemesis. And so that's why I named the bad guy Russell, because Russell was like really one of my enemies. So he was like really one of the worst characters for me,
Okay.
But just from talking to everybody, Miss Davis was mostly everybody's worst character was Miss Davis. People did not like her at all.
No, we don't like her. No, we don't like her. That she was just the worst. She's the absolute worst.
She was wrong. She was mean. She was wrong.
She was stealing. He could have never got ahead living there. Like sometimes people try to give people that been in prison an opportunity to save their money and to come up. She was trying to strip that boy of everything and anybody that came, not just him, because apparently she was doing it before he came there. She was stripping everybody for everything to feed her habit. So they could have never left there with some type of money. They could have never achieved anything or saved anything because she was not going to have that. She was not having it.
She was controlling everybody.
I like at the end when they said they had been watching her for a minute. If she finally got it. See, it's like with Niven, however you say his name, it's like the decisions you make, it gonna have consequences. You make the bad decisions, you things don't turn out bad for you. Make good decisions, you'll be on the right path. That's what I got out this book.
See, but that's a good point that you just made, Val. That's a good point you just made, because she had to learn the same way he learned because of the decision she made. Now it's coming back to bite her. So you just made a good point with that, because it came back to bite her, decision she made.
Because what decisions we make, if you make good decisions, it's consequences come out everything you do. It's like a thinking. Am I gonna it go round in your head? Am I gonna do this? Am I gonna do that? I know if I do this, it ain't gonna turn out good. So you have to make the right decisions
That's right.
because that's gonna be your future and your outcome. What outcome you gonna like that cause and effect thing in the book, like the cause and effect, you know. Good
Yeah,
outcome,
I
bad
mean,
outcome.
absolutely. You know, but you know, she was really put there to give him a hard time. You know, I wrote her in there to give him a hard time because I wanted the reader to really understand that he would not even have met Miss Davis or even Rusty had he not been doing the things that he was doing. And I think his friend Jersey reminded him, like, hold up, you wouldn't even have known Rusty to even be in this position had you not been robbing people. So, you know,
right.
and that's what I was trying to get across is that all those characters that he had to run into and deal with, he only ran into them because of the decisions that he made initially. You know, and they brought everything full circle. So, you know, and Miss Davis gave him a hard time. She took advantage of him, you know, and he had to deal with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, she wasn't cool though. She wasn't cool. Miss Davis
No,
wasn't cool.
she wasn't cool at all.
Hey, D-Rev, would there be a part 2 to this, or it's a no?
Now, the closest thing you're going to get to a part 2 is the book about Zion, his cellmate, though he was in prison with. But no, this was. I got the dream out. I had the dream about the story. I got it out. I got it on paper. I'm good, you know. And you know, I think that this type of story, trying to write a part 2 to it, would spoil the story. Maybe, you know what I'm saying. I'm gonna just leave it as it is, you know. And you know, I got so many stories in my head. Like I got to get this other stuff out of my mind and write it out.
You need to pull a Tyler Perry on them and write a part 2 to this. You know how Tyler Perry all do them little clips off and just leave it sitting right there. So you need to pull a Tyler Perry and have a part 2.
Who knows? Who knows? You know, I might revisit the story of Stacy and Ivan later. But you know, Stacy, well, now she's alive now, because she came back. So I mean, who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? You know, I might be able to write it. I just thought about it. She is alive. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, never know.
Okay, y'all. So this comes to the time because we run out of time. I want to set up and play these games. I got questions. So with these questions, you can win a gift. So this is what we got. I want to ask the first question that I want to ask everybody is, what job did he quit? What was the first job that he quit?
The auto store.
Okay, so pick 1 through 3, Evella. Whichever number you pick, you win a gift from it, since you got that question all right.
2.
The answer right. Huh?
Number 2.
Okay, well, you win a ring. Okay, I got a ring for you. A nice, fabulous ring. Okay. The next question is, what is the author name that wrote this book?
D-Rev.
You win it too much. Okay, pick 1 through 2. 1 or 2.
No, it's 1.
You okay? I got a Subway card coming to you, girl. Have lunch on me. Okay. The last question I got. When he got out of prison, his mother and children made a cake. What type of cake was that?
German chocolate.
Okay, Cassandra, you win. Okay. Well, you get number 3, so you get a Subway card too. So lunch on me. So that's I thank everybody. So let me write down Cassandra. Okay, Bella, you got so let me write down y'all name for nobody won't be getting none. No, y'all know how I do. I forget. Okay, Bella 1, 2, and Cassandra 1, number 3. Okay. Okay, so do y'all have anything else before this meeting get ready to end in 5 minutes? Because I only set up the time. Any more questions for deregulation?
I don't have a question, but I do just want to say that I thoroughly enjoyed the book. You are a great storyteller, And I will be purchasing your other books. You know,
Now,
I love it.
just a little small
I knew you
disclaimer. The first book is a really kind of, Trinisa tell you, is really, is kind of really gritty and grimy. It's my real life story, and is really not like this story.
It's
It's
raw.
not. It's a good story, but it's not like this story. It's different.
I already told him, y'all, that that's gonna be the third book. That won't be the second book. Cassandra, tell them the name of the second book we read.
Oh. Am I on me? Oh, what,
No,
the butterfly?
Yes,
Okay.
that's gonna be the second book we reading, y'all.
What's
They
the
have it
name
on
of it?
Amazon. Cassandra.
Butterfly.
Butterfly.
Mhm.
I'm gonna send y'all a picture of it, of the cover,
Oh,
and
okay.
I know that they have it on Amazon. And then we're gonna go back to this third book. D-Rev, tell them the name of that book again. That's gonna be the third book we read.
It's called One Chance to Be a Man. It's about a guy growing up in Chicago and everything he had to deal with, and then coming to Nashville and becoming a writer and a poet and things like that. But everything that I dealt with in Chicago and all the trials and tribulations and everything that I had to go through. It's a very well written book. I've been writing for like 30 years, you know. So, you know, I consider myself to be a master storyteller. And I'm writing my third book now that'll be out probably, you know, this spring, you know, next spring coming out. Next spring, it should be coming out, called The Nurse and the Poet. But One Chance to Be a Man is the book that started it all. That's the book that started everything. And that's when I really knew this is what I was supposed to be doing, was writing books, because of the reviews I received from this first book. And it's a powerful book. It's just as powerful, but it's just not as nice as the one you guys just read. It's really,
Yeah, it definitely,
it's
you know, we laughing and we joking about it just because it's so gritty, and most people, like, when they read this one, it's like a lovely storytelling, you know, it's fictional, but it captures your heart and spirit. This one is really true, you know, true life. And so it may be alarming at times, and it pulls at your heartstrings because it's somebody's actual story. So we laughing, but it's a great book. I think that you guys will thoroughly enjoy it. It's just gritty. And I know they like gritty, so you don't got to shy away from it. But it's just for me, it was a heartfelt book, knowing that this is your story. You know, I gotta look at it a little different because it's your real life.
Okay, y'all, not to cut y'all off, but I have to jump in here because we got like 2 more minutes before they probably kick us off. But I want to thank you, brother. I want to thank everybody for joining me for Envisioning Wonderland first Zoom Herald Book Club reading book. I'm excited about it, y'all. I'm excited because, hey, we got to keep this thing alive. You know, we don't know if the world is getting ready to go back into shutdown or what it is. So we still have to connect on a level, and it's lightning. And everybody know I'm scared of lightning, and I don't be on stuff like this during this time. But I appreciate you all. I thank you, brother, for coming on and for giving us stories like this. I appreciate you. You keep doing what you do. You are amazing. You are fabulous. We look forward to reading more of your stories. We look forward to seeing you back on this meet when we do the next story. You are most definitely welcome to anything I do. We appreciate you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. Nice meeting you guys.
Nice meeting you.
And I'll be here to discuss the next book, the other book you buy. Appreciate you.
Awesome, man.
Okay.
All right,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
And
Have a good night.
everybody, once again, thank y'all for coming. Last one more time. I don't have no more drink because I don't drink it up. Cheers to you, brother. Cheers to you.
All right.
And
Guys,
cheers to
have a good one.
everybody. Y'all have a blessed and
Cheers.
stay
I'm
safe.
done. All right.
Bye,
All
y'all.
right.
Catch y'all on the next meet. Love you all. Thank you for supporting me. And thank you
Bye-bye.
for supporting him, everybody.
Absolutely.
Bye.
Bye.